Hey guys, in this video we'll be starting our mix. Before we start adding processors and effects, I want to get an idea of the track I'm working with. For this I like to listen to the track and do a quick level mix and pan the instruments so I can get an idea of how the mix is going to sound. In this mix we have vocals, guitar, shaker, tambourine and violins. So let's do a quick level mix. When it comes to leveling, you want to make the focus of the mix the loudest part. For this track it is of course the vocals. You need to balance them according to the mix. The levels will change throughout the mixing stage. When it comes to panning, our main rule is to keep the bass instruments in the centre of the stereo image. This is due to the bass frequencies require more power to produce, so both speakers are needed, and it doesn't need a localization. Vocals and drum kits are best kept in the centre of the stereo image for the same reason. A good rule of thumb is to have the higher frequency of the instruments that aren't the drive put further into the stereo image. It's always good to balance the stereo image. For example, I have two guitars in this mix. I have panned them at -50 and +50 in the stereo image. I kept this rule for all instruments.
Being alive, and I'll keep the rest to 10:30 and pray we are together again. I wanna give you all of me and a little more. Make your life so much more than a chore. To understand you and the depths of your heart. To be together, never apart. And just think of me when you're lonely. Run away and become mine. Become mine. Become mine. Become mine.
The next area we need to look at is housekeeping, meaning gating, filtering and bussing needs to take place. We're going to start with gating. On most of the track there is spill from the headphones and a room fan can be heard as well, like so. If this spill and room noise is not combated, then they can add unwanted, dirty and unpleasant sounds to the mix. Filtering can be one way to tackle this, but gating gives us better results. Gates work in a similar fashion to a normal compressor. However, instead of compressing the signal that passes a threshold, it compresses anything that is below. Attack controls how fast the gate opens and release controls how fast the gate closes. Ranges controls how much of the signal is attenuated, and hold allows you to delay the time the compressor kicks back in. Gating can take a long time to get corrected and a lot of trial and error is needed. With gating you do not want to remove any of the attack of the instrument unless for a creative effect. Your goal is to remove the unwanted sound around the instrument. I have my gates already set up. The next stage of mixing is to filter each track. If you do not know why filtering is needed, please watch the video 2.1 EQ breakdown and 2.2 EQ demo. So I'm going to filter each track to clean up the sound and remove unwanted frequencies. We are now moving on to bus each track. Bussing is used to group each section of the mix into their own section or bus. For example, grouping all the drum instruments together or all the backing vocals. Why do we bus? It's much easier to process a bus than each individual track. Of course, there is a time where you only want to affect one certain track. To bus an instrument in Logic 9, you click and hold on the output of the channel strip. You then navigate to the bus and selected which bus you want to use. So I have now bussed each instrument in my mix like so. Before we finish, I want to show you guys how the track sounds without any gating, and filtering how it sounds with the processors.
Run to me and become mine. Become mine. Become mine.
As you can hear, filtering and gating really help clear the sound up. In the next video, we're going to EQ and compress the mix. See you next time.